Jim Harbaugh is coming back to Michigan. Now, there's one of two ways people will take that. I'll explain next. Locked On Big Ten starts now.
You are Locked On Big Ten, your daily podcast on the Big Ten Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Sheeman. Coming up on 40 years as a sports talk show host and play-by-play announcer. And I want to thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. This summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. So visit FanDuel.com and get started. So Jim Harbaugh is coming back to Ann Arbor on August 31st. We have some Hawkeyes hype around their defense, and somebody said Oregon is overrated. I'll tell you who. Plus, we'll have our top 10 Big Ten observations from the weekend with our Olympic theme. But first, the prodigal son is coming to Ann Arbor. It's in Michigan's football season opener at the Big House, August 31st against Fresno State. Former Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh will be in attendance as the team's honorary captain. It was simple, really. The school invited him. He accepted. This will be Michigan's first game since it won its national championship game over Washington to cap off a 15-0 perfect season led by Jim Harbaugh. And then in the wake of several tiresome NCAA investigations, Harbaugh bolted for the NFL, where he is now the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers, and he is earning an $80 million contract while he's there. He's good. Now, I already know how this is going to go. This is in the comment section here. This is going to go one of two ways. Many people are going to criticize Michigan for heralding a cheater, and while Michigan fans will celebrate this moment and bask in the glory of a national championship, at the same time giving a collective thumb to the nose to the NCAA. It's going to be a lot of back and forth on this. I already know it. You already know it. Let's have it. In the meantime, we will, break this down a little bit. Everything's going on because it's going to be part of a very busy week. First of all, the announcement of Harbaugh returning to Michigan to be an honorary captain comes days after the NCAA nailed Harbaugh with a 4-year show cause penalty for his alleged involvement or truthfulness about BurgerGate when he met with recruits and bought them lunch at an Ann Arbor burger joint during the COVID pandemic in a period where you were not allowed to have any contact with recruits. This effectively eliminates any chance of Harbaugh ever coaching college football for the next 4 years. Again, with the Chargers contract, it really doesn't matter. He's good to go in the grand scheme of things. Now, this all comes with interesting timing as well, as the Chargers' final preseason game is against the Cowboys on Saturday, August 24th. Then on Tuesday, August 27th, Netflix is going to debut its Untold episode titled Sign Stealer, featuring former Michigan staffer Connor Stalions and his side of the SpyGate story that consumed the Michigan football season last season from October on. The NCAA's other investigation into Michigan's involvement into SpyGate, and while that's going on, and BurgerGate and SpyGate, they just issued the notice of allegations to Michigan last week for SpyGate. Jim Harbaugh gets nailed for the BurgerGate. All this is going on, and again, the Stalions thing on Netflix is on August 27th. Now, until now, Stalions has said that he acted alone, and that specifically Jim Harbaugh had no knowledge of the entire on-site scouting sign-stealing operation the Stalions put together. Harbaugh himself has been adamant that he had no knowledge of SpyGate as well. Where things get a little sticky here is the forthcoming notice of allegations, again, obtained by ESPN last week. It has not been issued, by the way. It has not been officially presented to Michigan. But as ESPN reported, there was some language in there that suggests current head coach and last year's offensive coordinator, Sherrone Moore, allegedly deleted a text chain of 52 messages between himself and Stalions at the time that the SpyGate story broke in October last year. If that is true, that would diminish the probability that Stalions acted alone on this whole operation. Again, it'd be interesting to see what he says on this Netflix special coming up on August 27th. Nevertheless, 4 days after the Netflix special airs, Harbaugh will be praised in front of 107,000 fans at the Big House as honorary captain before he drifts off into the sunset for the Chargers season opener September 8th versus the Raiders. In the meantime, all of this will unfold as the Wolverines open up their season against Fresno State on national television. Primetime, 7:30 Eastern kickoff on NBC. It's going to be a lot of Michigan from late August to right to the August 31st date. The last week, basically, of August is going to be crazy. And that's how they're going to kick off the rest of their season going into September or whatnot. Now, also joining Harbaugh for all these festivities will be many of Michigan's former players from last year's national championship team. It's going to be like a homecoming on week one. Approximately 20 of those players are in the NFL. And now the schedule, as we mentioned, is favorable with the gap between the preseason and regular season transitions. So a lot of people can make it. So do think of it as an early homecoming for the Michigan Wolverines. Now, regarding Harbaugh, athletic director Ward Manuel says he looks forward to seeing Harbaugh and looks forward to having him be the honorary captain of the game. In the meantime, we do have some more Michigan news. I mean, we're still trying to figure out who the starting quarterback is going to be for week one. I think that's their biggest on-the-field storyline going into this season, as many of you wonder as well. So as practice continues to unfold, the season opener gets closer and closer. This is something we need to figure out. It's something that Sherrone Moore needs to figure out. I did catch a comment from Wolverine wide receiver Tyler Morris. Remember, he was the one that scored on a 38-yard catch and run touchdown against Alabama in the Rose Bowl. It was his first receiving touchdown of his career, by the way, and I'm sure Michigan would like to see more of that in the upcoming months. He said that Alex Orji, who's obviously one of the quarterbacks battling for this job, he says he's more detail-oriented than he has been in the past. He's made some amazing throws in practice, and that he's way more consistent throwing the football. So good report, good intel on what's going on with Orji and the quarterback battle. He did, however, remain neutral on showing any preference for QB1. He said it doesn't matter. He says we all have to run our routes no matter what. And he says he'll be happy with whoever gets the gig. Obviously, he's got to say that anyway, because you don't want to create a divided locker room or a stir in the locker room with 5 guys battling for this job. But between Orji and Jack Tuttle and Davis Warren and Jaden Denegal, I mean, they're all fighting for this job over the next couple of weeks. And it's going to be really interesting, not only to see who gets the starting job, but I wonder if there's going to be a little mix and match. I'm wondering if multiple quarterbacks are going to be playing this year, like on purpose, not due to injury or benching or anything like that. I wonder if there'll be some change of pace or whatever. Some of these quarterbacks are better as pocket passers. Others are better running the football. I think you will see Michigan run the ball. Whoever the quarterback is will run more from the quarterback position than you've seen in the past. I mean, J.J. McCarthy, they almost never did that. But they have some pretty good athletes in there battling for this that can run a little better and are powerful runners. So it's going to be a different look. And you all know as well as I do, Sherrone Moore likes to run the football. Need we point out the Penn State game where he ran the ball 32 straight times? Didn't even need to pass. So those are the kind of things I'm looking at quarterback. But again, a big week going into that game with the Netflix special. And of course, with Harbaugh being the honorary captain, everybody there at the Big House is going to be very excited to see him and, raise the banner, say hello, congratulations. We won a championship together. And I think a lot of people are going to be, Michigan fans are going to be pumped up about it. I think it's going to irritate a lot of Michigan haters out there. But that's to be expected on a normal week, let alone with all this stuff going on. And then find out who's going to step onto the field first as the starting quarterback for that first snap of the season. Anyway, if you're new to us or if you've been around and you haven't yet, we always ask you to subscribe. We're making our push to 10,000 subscribers before the start of the season. We were at 1,200 when we took over a year ago. So we've been a lot of people have been finding us. So thank you for checking us out and finding us. And you can subscribe and follow Locked On Big Ten for free wherever you get your podcasts. And that way you'll get the latest episode of this podcast as soon as it becomes available each and every day. And don't forget to pick up some Michigan gear while you're at it, all there at our website, talkbig1010.com. You see the scroll on the bottom if you're watching on video. Let's talk Big 10, number 10.com. All right, now, Couple other things we got to hash out here, and some of it you might not be happy about if you're an Oregon Duck fan. I'll get to that in a second. We got a lot of excitement for Iowa Hawkeyes, particularly with the defense, as they get ready to, I think, surprise some people this year. And the Oregon Ducks, are they going to be a disappointing team this year? There was one outlet that said, yeah, too much preseason hype for Oregon. I will let you, by the way, I don't agree with that, but I will let you know who that is in a minute on Locked On Big Ten. Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay has you covered with over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die. You'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at all the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. Well, thank you for making Locked On Big Ten your first listen every day, especially you everydayers out there. Thank you very much. Meanwhile, be sure to subscribe on YouTube, share and follow and like Locked On Big Ten wherever you get your podcasts. Locked On Big Ten, your team every day. And don't forget our website, talkbig10.com. And when you're done with us for a second listen, enjoy Locked On College Football, covering everything in the landscape of college football, from the games to news off the field. Check it out. Locked On College Football, available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast, part of the podcast, the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. All right, let's start with the Hawkeyes first, then we'll get to Oregon. The Iowa Hawkeyes are pretty excited about the upcoming football season, and we are too. If you are an everydayer to Locked On Big Ten, you know we've already talked about the Iowa Hawkeyes. We're expecting another big win total for them this year. They got a lot of veteran leadership coming back, returning from a team that made it to the Big Ten championship game last year. And they have a manageable schedule as well, to be frank. Now, after last season's 10-win season, a lot of guys had to decide whether to take their chances in the NFL draft or whether to come back for another year at Iowa. I remember early on, linebacker Jay Higgins, he said, I'm coming back. Kind of led the way for some of the other guys, particularly on the defense, to announce that they would come back to the Hawkeyes in 2024. Many did follow him back to the defensive side of the ball. In fact, 9 starters on defense are seniors or grad students. These are experienced big boy football players that they have on the Iowa defense. 7 of the 8 top tacklers from a really good 2023 defensive unit are coming back. In fact, head coach Kirk Ferentz, who's seen a lot of football. Let's be frank about it. I mean, he's been the head coach there since 1999. He's seen a lot of guys. He's seen a lot of defensive units, for one, and he says this is one of the most veteran groups that he has ever seen while he has been there. So that's fantastic. And by the way, while he's very excited about his defense, I'm hearing some rumbles maybe that Cade McNamara coming back from injury. Is it looking that good? We'll take a closer look at that on tomorrow's podcast. Wake up, tell all your Iowa friends we're doing Iowa football tomorrow. We're going to figure this out, see what's going on at quarterback. So over the weekend, I was doing some reading, as I always do, and I'll tell you who it was. College Football News. I was reading that they posted the 5 teams that most likely will disappoint everyone in 2024. I'll save you the trouble. I'll tell you who it was. Number 1, they had Colorado. Sure, until Colorado backs up all the talk and the hype with Deion and gets more than 4 wins. Yeah, I don't have any problem with that. By the way, big game coming up very early, just in a few weeks, against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Got that one circled. Can't wait for that one. They got SMU on the list. Why pick on SMU? They're making the jump for free over to the ACC. Why bother them? Oklahoma's on the list. I mean, life is going to be tougher in the SEC for Oklahoma. There's no question about that. I don't think anybody's surprised about that. You got the Oregon Ducks at number 4. We're picking them to be in the Big Ten championship game. They think they're going to be a disappointing team. We'll get back to that. Texas, by the way, was the 5th team. Look, anything but a semifinal appearance in the college football playoffs or a national championship will be a disappointment for the Longhorns this year. They got a high standard. But back to the Ducks for a minute. I'm not gonna say that this is crazy. First of all, the bulk of their argument at College Football News was who they beat last year. Yeah, they won to 12-2, but who they beat? I mean, they lost to Washington, the national champion runner-up, twice by 3 points. And then they wanted to argue that Utah was really injured and banged up when they beat them. So that doesn't count, apparently. And USC wasn't the USC we're used to. So that doesn't count. I mean, and first of all, last year has nothing to do with this year. I mean, the team's loaded this year and ready to go. And they were really good last year. So I say whether they win the Big Ten or not, this team is winning double-digit wins this year. And I mean, even if they are like 9-3, like this article suggested was possible, looking at their schedule, they'll still get a look. They'll still get a look. There'll be talk. I don't know if a 3-loss team gets into the 12-team playoff. It'll happen. I don't know if it'll happen this year or every year. It'll happen. And if it's Oregon, they'll be in the conversation. It depends, not just the 3 losses, but who they were to and the circumstances. You know how that goes. Well, I will learn some of this together with the 12-team as opposed to 4. But we've done numerous in-depth analysis and previews on the upcoming Oregon football team on this podcast, Locked On Big Ten. Go back and check it out on our website, talkbig10.com. I've done several ones focusing on Oregon just in the past 10 days. Feel free to catch up. We have nothing but good things to say about our expectations for the Oregon football team this year. One other note, I want to tell you about Jordan Childs, the Olympian, the women's gymnastics athlete. You know, she was part of the gold medal winning team in the team category for Team USA. And there was that scoring controversy with the individual event where she earned a bronze, and then they took it away. They changed the score after the fact. Actually, they changed the score right after. There was a whole argument about how she should have been graded on a difficulty of a particular skill. It was corrected, and they bumped her score back up. She got the bronze, and then somebody appealed, and they switched it again, and she dropped to 5th. She's going to have to give the bronze medal back, and it's still up in the air. I don't know. It's confusing. Anyway, none of it was her fault. This is all loopholes and things to do with judges and how they score stuff. Anyway, you may or may not be aware, she is a UCLA student athlete gymnast. So she announced that she's going to come back and return back to UCLA. And she's got 2 years of eligibility left. So welcome to the Big Ten. USA. Let's go. Anyway, coming up, we got our Big Ten top 10 observations from the weekend. A lot of it is Olympics centric. I want to share that with you. It's amazing to me how many current Big Ten athletes or even former Big Ten athletes were performing in the Olympics, which just closed here this weekend. That was phenomenal. So anyway, we'll get into that a little bit. That's coming up next. Maybe your favorite school is represented in what we're about to talk about. All that coming up in 1 minute right here on Locked On Big Ten. Sports are going on. They go on every single day. We love sports. You know what makes sports even better? How about FanDuel? FanDuel makes it even more fun. Go to FanDuel.com and get some action on these games. Get a little adrenaline rolling here, right? This summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. So head on over to FanDuel.com and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel is the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. So we have a little baseball to throw at you here for tonight, Monday night. I like the Guardians over the Cubs. I would take the under in the Astros Rays. You know the Yankees will beat the White Sox, right? And the Diamondbacks over the Rockies. I like the over in that game, ball flying out there in Colorado in the thin air. So there you have it. That's what I have. Go visit FanDuel.com. Again, FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. All right. We always like to close out. If you're new to us, we have features that we do in our third and final segment each and every day that we hope you enjoy. So Mondays, we always do our Big Ten, top 10 Big Ten observations from usually once we're into the sporting season, we'll pull out highlights and stats and amazing stuff from Big Ten athletes. Tuesdays, we do Tuesday tweets. Wednesdays, we do some sort of power rankings. And once we're in the season, we rank how we think the conference standing should be in whatever sport we're talking about. Thursdays, we always look ahead to what's going on the Big Ten Network with Big Ten Classics and live programming, and always have fun with that. And then we do some sort of pigskin picks on Fridays, or futures bets, or that kind of thing. We look at the lines that FanDuel provides, and we put those on our final segment. But anyway, here on a Monday, let's put it on the screen. If you're audio only, we'll describe it in detail as best as we can, and you can follow along. Here it is. Here's the whole list. Our Big Ten top 10 observations from the weekend. First of all, congratulations. This is an updated number. 134 athletes with ties to the Big Ten in the Olympics. That is incredible. I do want to give a shout out to the Team USA women's basketball team, which won gold in a nail biter against France over the weekend. But I want to point out Alyssa Thomas. She went to school at Maryland. Sabrina Ionescu was from Oregon. Kayla Cooper was from Rutgers. Kelsey Plum, of course, the prolific scorer from Washington. Wanted to give them a shout out, particularly the ones with Big Ten ties. And same thing with the Team USA men's basketball, which won gold. Drew Holiday is a UCLA basketball player from back in the day before he went into the NBA. At number 4, we just mentioned Jordan Childs in the last segment, the gymnast, a part of the Team Gold and Team USA with Simone Biles and all of them. But Jordan is a UCLA student athlete, and as we just said, she's going back to school there. Twanisha Terry, she's on this list as well. She is from USC, Southern Cal. She won gold in the track and field 4x110 meter relay. So congratulations to her. They call her TT, Twanisha Terry. And then there's Cole Hawker out of Oregon. Put Cole on the list. Won gold in the track and field 1,500 meter. So congratulations there. At 7, now this was from a little while ago. And by the way, these aren't in any particular order. I just wanted to list 10. Usually I rank them, but not this week. They're all great. They're all gold. As far as we're concerned, Hunter Armstrong from Ohio State. He was part of the 4x100 meter freestyle relay that got gold. And that was at the beginning of the Olympics. So this isn't just this weekend, but normally we stick to just this weekend or really recent. But I wanted to throw him on there. Charlie Swanson from Michigan, track and field, mixed 4x100 medley relay gold. And a couple of Indiana swimmers rounding out our list. Matt King, gold in the 4x100 freestyle relay, and Lily King from Indiana, a 4x100 meter medley relay as well. So congratulations to all these athletes that made America proud, got gold, representing the Big Ten. It is all very cool. It's part of our Big Ten top 10 observations from the weekend, and then some, in this case, the extended Olympic version, if you will. So always appreciate that. If I left anybody out, let me know that you thought should have maybe been mentioned there. It's too many to mention, really, but we put them out there anyway as well. As always, if you are new or checking us out, there's a lot of info I'm going to give you right here in the next 30 seconds. First of all, many ways for you to reach out to this podcast. You can interact with me on Twitter at TalkBig10. That's the number 10. Don't spell it out. We have our website, talkbig10.com. Again, the number 10, talkbig10.com. We put all of our podcasts there. This one will go there when we're done. You can go back and listen or watch all of your favorite podcasts right there off of that website. And we have them chronologically. And then we also group them by your favorite school. So it's real easy. We started out talking about Michigan today. This will go under the Michigan file, if you will. So you can check all that there at our website. And while you're there, peruse and get yourself some tickets for an upcoming game, or maybe even get some merchandise, some shirts, some hats, pennants, all that kind of stuff right there, all at one place, talkbig10, number 10.com. No matter what you do, be sure to subscribe and follow this podcast right now on your favorite podcast app, and you'll get the latest episode of Locked On Big Ten as soon as it becomes available each and every morning. And again, if you haven't subscribed, it's free. You just click the little button right there, subscribe, and you're good to go. And then you and I are on the same loop every day. Big Ten brethren, if you will. Afterward, watch another episode of Locked On Big Ten. And when you're done with that, How about another listen, a second listen? Enjoy our friends at Locked On College Football. They have a podcast every day that get you ready for the season. Not outside the Big Ten, everything. On the field, off the field, all kind of news pertinent to college football. It is Locked On College Football, available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. That'll do it for us. Again, tomorrow, we're going to look into Cade McNamara and the quarterback in Iowa. How's he doing? What's the plan? What's the situation for the Hawkeyes? Even though they have big expectations for the, another second year in a row here. We'll talk about it. So tell all your friends about it here. In the meantime, thanks for joining us. Can't wait till we meet again next time. I'm Craig Sheeman for Locked On Big Ten.